Welcome back, guys, to Granblue Fantasy Relink, where we're Chapter 8 completed, and the Church of Avia kind of kicked out of Seed Hollow for now. Of course, dark, stormy skies await us in that other port, but we have come back to Folka for, of course, quests and more. We're going to the nice, idyllic place rather than the one that looks oppressive at this point in time before moving on to Chapter 9. So with that said and done, we have a couple of quests at the quest hub before we move on with our story, and fate episodes galore as well. So let's start with a quest to get ourselves back in the throw of the action. We'll go on the front lines, defend Seed Hollow Castle. We're going back to the oppression. Remnants of Lilith's Crusaders will soon attack Seed Hollow Castle. We still have wounded and homeless taking refuge within its walls, but our forces are stretched thin. We need reinforcements, and we need them now.
It's in your hands now.
That's what we're going to do to start off with. Let's go with EO at like level 48 at this point in time. But yes, we are going to start with Fate episodes like we did getting through them before. We've only got 3 characters with them, but they might have quite a few. Especially if EO levels up more.
Let's do it to it.
If EO makes 50, that's another Fate episode as I've read it.
Breaking our defenses. This place has never been safer.
Hey, that's the barricade?
Like we've got guests. Go give them a big welcome.
Looking time to shine.
Just say that guy got instantly broken.
That went well.
It was a pleasure.
Of course. On my mark. Now we're ready.
Say, is there anyone left? Don't worry, we just rely on...
Coming. But we'll show 'em who's
We'll just
boss.
rely on Rosetta to get the win, right?
Come on. If you insist.
Just like that.
You guys are amazing.
Yeah, that was great.
Got a guy coming at me from behind here. Hey, this guy's just ran all the way through, and this guy's trying to shoot me.
We fight and try to dodge this.
Don't just stand there. We've got to get a move on.
Hey, I'm savoring the moment.
Look at this guy trying to track my movements.
Looking good.
Look at him.
Just like that.
Did he end up shooting too high then?
Here goes. Let's go.
After you.
My magic. Right where we want 'em.
I guess so.
Maybe I should deal with the guy in the back. He's getting very annoying, isn't he?
Your finger is itching. Never give up.
Oh, what?
This should do it.
This should do it.
Get a load of this.
Very cool.
I bet you say
Got the
that's
hit in.
all the helmsmen.
Didn't mean to use that until I got my arse level back up again.
How's this?
You didn't strain yourself, did you?
Nope. Never felt better.
Looking good. Just like it.
He hit me twice, EO. Deal with the one that's right next to us. Thank you. That wasn't too hard, was it? You know, the one threatening you?
On my mark. We fight it.
Hey!
Enough.
Take him.
Bury
Sorry,
them.
not sorry. On
Just
to
like
greener
that.
pastures.
You lead the way.
On my mark.
Ready to go.
Am I the only one actually guarding the barrier here? I even saw you doing the attack and still didn't dodge.
Looking good. Just like that. Follow me. They're finished. Keep your head.
There's a guy up on it
Let's get
again.
going.
Now we're ready.
Just keep coming.
60 seconds remaining.
Looking good.
Man, I'm supposed to defeat an Avia Dreadnought? Where's that?
Here we go.
Leave none.
Let's go. Here's our chance.
Indeed.
A balloon for
We fight as one. Try to dodge this.
Shall we?
You got it. Heads up, people. This is gonna burn.
What do you think?
Get him.
Bury them.
Great work.
Couldn't have said it better
I'm sure
myself.
I could go all day long.
No problem.
I got you. Very true.
Right. Focus up.
How's this?
That gravity effect attack worked really well on them.
Never give up. Time to shine.
My sight.
Wait,
Don't let up yet.
caution before valor.
Hello?
as they say.
Time's up. I was waiting for the Dreadnought to launch my special attack.
Yeah, we did it.
Oh, I defeated it? Sure. I didn't see it. Was it even an it?
Whew. We made it through.
I'm getting Rosetta one again. Rosetta's just the best. Well, to start with an S++ is never a bad start. Get some more mastery points after all. Some level ups. Got Link Together 2. Yeah. Maybe some goods. But now we start our Fate episodes yet again. Or at least continue them. Because the next quest that we've got on the list is Managam. And that'll be interesting.
Hello there.
Okay, let's start with Katalina. Let's go down the list as we go. Episode 3, Rebuilding the Future. What actually happened last episode? The experimentation on Lyria grows cooler by the day, further fueling Katalina's distrust of the Empire. Caught between a knightly oath to Este and the promise she made to Lyria, she decides to take Lyria and flee from the Empire. I did watch the first season of the anime in the last week because it's got dub. Second season doesn't, which you can kind of like find. Not on Crunchyroll, but on Crunchyroll, but via Amazon. It's just like this weird thing. You just take the trial for a week and watch it if you want to. Little tip. But anyway, let's see what's next. That's if you want to see more of the backstory, eh?
Sometime after the commotion at Tempeel, life in Folca began to struggle towards normalcy. The breeze was soft and welcoming. I'd been blind to the city's charms before, focused as I was on rescuing Lyria from the Church of Avia. The sun watched over the victims of Furikin's rage as they raised new homes for themselves from the rubble. But once scars have set in, they are slow to fade. Here and there, the children of Tempeel labored with tools too large for their hands. I offered my aid, but the children said their work was their responsibility.
As long as you're sure you'll be okay.
Some distance away, a small boy burst into a red-faced fit. Lyria and I rushed over, hoping to be of help.
A short starter. As we now move into something that gives slot plus. So family is everything. A boss fight 2 and another episode after that. So we're going to be playing as Katalina, which would require me to at least level up Katalina a little bit. Now, how many mastery points do we have for the others in our party that have not been? Because we're currently like 35% offense, 34% defense on main, I guess you could say, for now. Catalina's at 5%, 5% at 8%. Might need some improvement. Like a small amount. Like to here amount? That's 59.
Huh.
And we're going to have to
Great.
buy out to fill out everything we've gone to because there's no way I'd ever want to miss anything on a tree. Do you get me? Because then having to come back up
Excellent.
sounds kind of nightmarish. This is the defense tree, by the way, not even the offense tree.
Interesting.
So 24% for defense. Didn't even actually cost that many mastery points when you think about it to get down to here. Could even go to a sigil slot if I wanted to.
Huh.
Although I see that these cost a fair bit more mastery points, now that I look at it. Collection-wise, we've got everyone's that to full. We just need to take your attack to a fair standard extra. Another sigil slot.
Intriguing.
That's only 12% completion too,
Interesting.
which is kind of bonkers to me.
Great.
Enhanced
Behold,
Ares gauge.
new power.
This is the thing where we don't really get a grasp of how to play a player by like just increasing their
Excellent.
masteries.
Intriguing.
But we hope we get a tutorial when we enter the battle, correct?
Great.
Let's just spam some points out. There's 200 points spent so far. Innermost teachings. Boost attack and defense based on how full the Ares gauge is.
A new technique.
And we'll go
Great.
this far, which was quite a lot of points spent on Katalina, to be fair. But 31, 31, and 8% should probably do just about fine. In terms of gear for you, though, you've now got like multiple slots to pick up. Attack power 2, attack power 2. Attack power 2. Fine, I guess. Absolute mastery, eh? Let's take on family as everything. You must play as Katalina for this quest. No, I never. 2309 power.
Don't try and stop me. I have to do this.
He hurled his words like stones as he whipped into a run. Concerned, I asked a nearby man about the boy. He explained that the boy's sister was ill, and the lad was after the remedy, an herb called windcrest. The sickness was assumed to have died out hundreds of years ago, but had now returned to torment the child.
And if that's not enough, I heard the woods where windcrest grows have turned into a monster den.
The boy had struck out alone. Folka had no soldiers to spare, for they were all dispatched to Tempeal for the reconstruction effort. No one was left to answer his pleas, but I would. In my heart, I vowed to bring back the child, and if possible, the herb too. I prayed only that I wasn't too late.
I'll take point.
Okay, controlling Katalina, a former knight of the Este Empire, Katalina fights to protect Lyria. Wielding a magic sword, she's an adept warrior who adapts to any situation. Katalina creates various combos by using square and triangle. Repeatedly press triangle to unleash a sweeping slash attack. Pulling off combos fills the Ares gauge. Once the gauge is full, Katalina can summon Primal Beast Ares to bolster her combos, skills, and skybound art. Cool.
Well, according to that old villager, this is the place we want to be.
Perfect. Keep your eyes peeled for Windcrest.
Which way do I want to go first? I'm right in saying this just leads round, or maybe not. Still get mushrooms and stuff.
Hey, I think I spied some windcrest.
So we're gathering red items. I think this is the first time we're coming across red items.
Strange. We didn't see any the last time we were here.
Seems like they're attracted to the windcrest. Maybe they
Come on! I'm trying to move here!
I'll show them.
Coward! Okay, I'm calling you
I have
Hellcat
heal.
from now on.
No objections here. Even follow me if you insist. We turned the tide. It was a
That one
marvel.
got me revved up.
Who are these guys even fighting? Who are they myself or trying to find my red things? I have heal.
You're a lifesaver.
A very simple from base AoE.
Take my one. No more.
I feel like I don't quite have the same lunging that I do with Granadas. Yeah, it comes in with the
Quite
sub.
right.
Cheers very much,
Let's
Liz.
go.
You lead the way.
Trust to the
I'll finish this. Nothing shall break our camp. Don't overdo it.
I think I just put up a buff.
You, but my petals are wilting.
I guess my scruff's kind of droopy.
What? It's an attempt to empathize by the sound of that.
Against each other.
There's birds though too. Where is it?
Unbelievable.
I'm looking for one more of these, right? So I'd say going off the beaten path is probably the...
Yeah, that should be more than enough.
But we still haven't located the boy. What? Where is that coming from?
I don't know, but it can't be a good sign. We better hurry.
Is it the Quaker doll again? Oh no, it's a rock golem.
A golem. So that's what was behind the tremors.
Crap, it spotted us. Get ready for a fight.
Level 35 too. It's over leveled me. We're in danger. Yeah, I really wanted to get clear there, but I just didn't.
Nothing to fear.
But I've got a heal. Hey!
I heard Hurricane's voice just now. I think that when Hurricane covered this archipelago in storm, some of its power used the land and the monster.
See, there's spirit cores around this. They're distracting me, honest. Help! Help! The golem's doing more golem damage. What the crap? There's a healing circle here.
I'm going to make this hurt so good.
Can I get some of that Hurricane juice too? This golem is up.
We can't afford to let it run free. Not while that boy remains missing.
Yeah, I probably dodged at the right time this time. So we've got the gauge that is just following us around. And there's Ares then. So it's just the same thing where we get arts level 4, but instead we get full gauge. That's why I have to jump. Oh, come on. Yes, being introduced to the person's attacks that definitely wasn't using before. Getting wrecked.
Been saving this one.
I mean, you could just get far away, but then it scatters the stuff outwards. You gotta jump to avoid being staggered.
Are you injured?
Winter spray!
Let's say we're very close to a break though.
Goes nothing!
No more. Prepare yourself.
It's nice analysing it after you've been hit by it enough to get down by it, isn't it?
Is it safe now? I recognize that voice.
Just wish I could analyse it before it hit me.
With a final death knell, the golem stilled. The boy crawled out from the tall grass, and I pressed the wind crest into his trembling hand.
Wow! Now I can save my sister! You're the best, lady!
He smiled at me, and with a great burden lifted from his shoulders, skipped the whole way back to Folka. As I watched his happy shuffle, I wished more joy and color into his life of toil, which had been covered by the dust of destruction.
Katalina has a 4th sigil slot now. Right, there's at least one more unlocked. A young boy's letter.
We made medicine from the wind crest you picked. The doctor said Hazel looks better every day. This morning, she was able to get out of bed and do some drawing. She loves drawing pictures. Thanks again, Katalina. From Al.
And Hazel.
P.S. Please visit Folka when you have a chance.
A very quick thank you note with some brilliant spelling. So our next one still requires us to progress through the main story. We've reached the level requirement, but we haven't reached the overall other side of the progress requirement. So next we move on to Io then. Episode 3, I Hate You. Clear Primal Beast Resurrected was our criteria for that one. Our last mission, or our last episode. During Io's travels with the crew, she mysteriously loses her ability to use magic. They return to Vault's duchy to see if they can find an answer. Coincidentally, the same epidemic that claimed Io's parents is spreading in Vaults again. It appears to be caused by an evil spirit. While preparing to fight the spirit, Io obtains her mother's staff, which restores her magic with her late mother's help. Io defeats the spirit, and that's where we're currently at.
While out running errands in Folka one day, I came across a crowd of people in the town square. But from the sounds of things, it wasn't a friendly get-together.
I hate you all! Mom, Dad, everybody in this stupid town!
The boy shouted angrily at the adults and took off running, right into me. We both landed on our backsides. Sheesh, watch where you're going, kid. And that's when I noticed the tears streaming down his face. He was clearly upset about something. Hey, you okay? The boy hopped to his feet without a word, shooting me a glare before sprinting away. One of the adults started to follow after him, but...
Please, Doctor, there's not much time.
The crowd stopped him in his tracks.
But I can't just... No, you're right. My patients need me. Forgive me, Lev.
The man closed his eyes, muttered something to the townspeople, and ran off in the opposite direction. Wait, that kid was crying! You're not gonna go after him? I shouted after the man's back, but he either didn't hear me, or pretended not to. Then I felt a gentle hand on my shoulder.
I'm sure he wants to, sweetheart. You see, that boy is his son.
The boy's name was Lev. His father was a doctor, with many patients needing urgent care, so he had no choice but to ask the townspeople to find a son for him. I knew I should mind my own business, but I couldn't get the poor kid's face out of my head. He was probably hiding somewhere all by himself, crying his eyes out. I understood all too well how painful it felt to be alone. When Master Sokka reached out to me, it changed my life forever. Maybe it was my turn to do the same for someone else. I turned to ask the crew if we could join the search, but they were already gearing up to head after him. It seemed we'd all had the same idea. Just you wait, Lev, I thought to myself. I was gonna find him and put a smile back on his face, even if it meant sticking my nose where it didn't belong.
And that leads us into, it's just a phase. It's a phase where all the young boys run off and get into some terrible trouble. This time being attacked by a horde by the look of it. Let's play as Yor for this quest, of which of course her skills and masteries aren't that bad. 30 on offense, 14% on defensive, so we might as well just increase that a little bit more. Parity after all. So another sigil slot. Everything that's down this way. Everything that's down the center. Reducing poison damage. Seems to be the main thing that you hate by the look of it, which gets up to 32% defense at this point in time. I'm going to at least go down here, and I guess the rest of our points are for our other character doing Fate episodes at this point in time. Tap power up. There we go, 33%. Gear-wise, I'd imagine you're okay, though I probably haven't, again, put much in the way of stat gains on you. Especially these. We've been getting these kind of later, I've got to say. Critical rate. increases power. A lot of things do. Crabby resonance. Why does that up the power so much? Raises trait level based on weapons rescued. You then gain the associated effect. What the hell? 19 levels? No wonder it going up quite nicely. Maybe I need some crabby resonance on ground. That's kind of baffling to me. I'll take stun power maybe? I don't know. Ah, yes. Crabby resonance. I need that. Let's do it.
The villagers didn't seem too worried about Lev. According to them, he'd have to venture much deeper into the forest before encountering any monsters. But that wasn't the issue. It seemed like nobody wanted to talk about why he'd run off in the first place. It was an obvious cry for help, and nobody was helping. I went through the same thing back in the day. Even after I met my master, there were times when the loss of my parents was just too much to bear. I didn't go so far as to run from home, but I'd sit alone in the corner of my room, hugging my knees to my chest and crying. Whenever Master Zaka found me like that, he'd always perform a silly magic trick to cheer me up. Just like me, all Lev wanted was for someone to find him, to take his hand, so he went off on his own in the hopes that someone would come for him. I'm sure he knew it was selfish, but it was the only card he felt he had left.
Do you think this means Lev doesn't want to live at home anymore?
I had a feeling that wasn't the case. He's probably just going through a rebellious phase.
Oh, that's when kids start arguing and acting out, right? Katalina told me it's pretty common. Did you have a phase like that?
Lyria's question was innocent enough, but I was too embarrassed to admit that I'd ever gone off alone because I wanted someone to pay attention to me. Heck no! That's not something befitting of a grown lady like myself. So what if I told a little lie? Our biggest concern right now was Lev, who was out there, probably crying with his back up against some rough, silent tree. He needed a friend, and I was more than determined to be one for him.
Oddly specific. Ia was a young mage who aspires to be an elegant lady. She's able to cast long-range spells and heal the party with recovery magic. Square casts a ball of magic, while triangle hits foes in a wide area. Her square is chargeable and it grants her a mystic vortex orb. The number of orbs she has determines how high she can charge her triangle attack to. Charge it up to max level is when the real magic happens.
This forest is as huge as ever. I sure hope Lev's okay.
Come on! We've gotta find him! And fast! Huh?
So do I have to hit someone to get an orb? How many orbs do I need? Also got my spells too. Healing Winds, Fire, Freeze, and Gravity Well. Gravity Well seems pretty good.
Wait, we're still on the edge of the forest, right? What are goblins doing here? Heads up!
Oh my god. I won't let you down!
Nice to run away, bud.
There's no time to waste. We've gotta find him.
Maybe I should just be Io. What? Problem sorted. It must have a large cooldown on those spells though.
We're gonna need that magic of yours, Io!
I don't know, they hit me.
I don't see him anywhere.
I think we beat them already. I think as soon as they dived me, they instantly died. Doesn't seem to be many goodies to pick up. I don't know what the cooldown time on it is. I got 3 orbs. Usually in games, I'd say that's probably the maximum amount of swirly things around you ever get, to be fair. Rule of threes and all.
That's a lot of monsters. Guess we'll just have to take them all out.
I'm on it.
Yep.
Coming!
Oh, come on. Just leave us alone already.
Go get him!
It feels.
I don't know if I need to use a spell or not. It helps that they're homing.
Let's all alone out there. Come on.
Wait a second, why would I ever cast spells? I can just fire these homing balls from miles away. So when does the real magic happen? I thought that would happen when I press triangle, to be honest.
Over there. Uggos. I'm the one you want.
Call them Uggos, that's rude. They dead already.
Too hot to handle.
I didn't miss, I don't know what you're talking about.
So fun. Let's give ourselves some breathing room. This power feels great. What do you think? Heads up.
That's it. You can all die to a gravity well. Well, I don't understand the character quite obviously.
You're gone now. You okay?
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, gravity well seems to be a pretty good spell.
We were lucky we found Lev when we did, or he would have been Monster Chow. But before we could talk to him, the town watch came hurrying over.
Lev, your parents are worried sick about you. Come on, let's go home.
Lev looked away, ignoring the old man's outstretched hand. I could imagine how he was feeling, being treated like he was selfish and immature, when all he wanted was someone to sit down and talk to. The man sighed and scratched his head in frustration.
Your mom and dad are fine people. Try being a little more considerate, okay?
Lev immediately bristled at those words, breaking his silence.
What do you know? This is all your fault!
Knocking the man's hand out of the way, he turned and ran deeper into the forest. It was like watching a scene from my own past, but I wished he'd get a grip already. The deeper he went into the forest, the more likely he was to get attacked. We had to hurry.
I would also knock away the hand of a man who came into the forest to find me that was barely dressed. Come on! You're a town guard. Put on some actual armor. Doesn't look like you're wearing pants. It's concerning.
Yes, can I help you?
Right, so the story continues in Trick and Treat.
We all split up to search for Lev so we could cover more ground. I didn't see any trace of him at first, so I thought I must have gone the wrong way. But then I noticed footprints that looked like someone had slipped over a nearby ledge. And sure enough, when I peeked down, I saw a familiar figure sitting hunched over, knees to his chest. He looked a little scraped up, but didn't seem to be hurt badly. I was just glad I managed to find him still in one piece. When I told him I was a skyfarer, he immediately burst into tears of relief. I could tell he was upset with the villagers about something, and that's why he couldn't be honest with them. But as an outsider, I thought I might have a chance. Watch closely. I'm gonna cast some special magic just for you. It was time for one of my master's patented magic tricks. I showed Lev my empty palm before covering it with a handkerchief. I flung the cloth away, and voila! There was a piece of candy in my hand.
Wow, candy!
Here, you can have it. After devouring the candy, he finally calmed down.
Thanks.
Normally, that would have been enough to lift any kid's spirits. But his face fell again as quickly as it had lit up. I guess he really doesn't want to go home. I decided I wouldn't leave him until there was a smile back on his face.
And we have 2 more to go by the looks of things, unless we didn't reach level 40, but episode 6 on the run.
While we were still deep in the woods, I decided to ask Lev up front. Why did you run away? He hesitated at first, but after seeing that I was serious, he started to open up.
My mom and dad used to work as doctors in Tempeal.
Back then, all had been well with their family. But when Furikin went berserk, they lost their home and ended up moving to Folka. That was when things started to fall apart. His parents began to spend all of their time tending to patients who were affected by the disaster, with hardly a moment's rest. Lev watched as his mom got paler and the black circles under her eyes grew darker and darker. He begged her to take a break, but it was no use. Eventually, she collapsed from overwork.
I told her she wouldn't be able to help people anymore if she got sick. She just wouldn't listen to me.
And here I thought he was just a kid going through a rebellious phase. That wasn't the case at all. That's really grown up of you, Lev. You're just worried about your mom and dad, huh?
Yeah.
After hearing Lev's explanation, I finally understood how he felt. I knew how hard it was watching people you cared about pushing themselves too hard. I couldn't stand to see my master doing it either. And that's exactly what was going through Lev's mind. He wasn't being selfish. Everything he did, it was because he loved his parents.
And yes, we have reached level 40 just off that little bit of stuff that we did. So episode 7, Finding Common Ground, is here too.
If it were me in his shoes, I'm sure I'd be worried sick about my parents too. There's nothing wrong with worrying about your parents. I'm sure they're proud to have a son who cares so much.
But
what? Something was still on his mind.
I always wanted to be a great doctor, just like my mom and dad. But after my mom collapsed, I started thinking maybe everybody else was just using them.
Along the way, he'd stopped being able to trust the people of Folka, and he thought feeling that way meant he could never follow in his parents' footsteps. Lev stared at the ground as he spoke, finally confiding his troubles to me. After hearing his story, I began to open up about my own parents. He listened to my words in silence. My parents had also strained themselves too hard after getting sick, and eventually passed away. So Lev's circumstances were all too familiar. Just like him, I felt nothing but bitterness and despair. But there was one difference. I've got to admit, I envy you a little. After all, your mom and dad are still alive and well. While we were standing there talking, Lev's parents and the villagers were probably beside themselves with worry, braving the dangers of the forest to search for him. When I told him that, Lev finally seemed to grasp the situation.
I really messed up, didn't I? I'm sorry.
Are you sure I'm the person you should be saying that to? I stood up and smiled at Lev. He and his family all seemed like really good people. The only thing they needed to patch their home back together was a long heart-to-heart.
That heart-to-heart will have to wait for later. There's a lot of stat gains, though, for EO from that. Will help us out in the future. Wait! Character level 50 or higher? Surely... Did we reach that too? Got another boss fight for that. We're going way up the chain. Way further than I thought we'd be going. I'm sure this will be fine.